When was Jesus colonized? Who brought the poison that led to these lies? I hate the mindset that has taken its place behind the mask of my Savior's face. Jesus, as a man, lived in time and place and land. The people of his day thought their culture was the only way. To be loved by God was to be Israeli, and to know all the laws and hopefully be a he. But Jesus hung out with outcasts and women and more. On the system of borders, he made all-out war. The lines were all shunned as love, hate outgunned. Then for some reason, his countrymen killed him. I guess his message of compassion never thrilled them. And yet by his life after death, his followers were inspired. They shook up an empire with grace that never tired. The Apostle Paul penned these words to the Ephesians. Jesus broke down the walls between us. So I wonder if Jesus went mental when he saw his church build schools residential. When he saw his people love an economy that's centered on what we can dominate. Though the apostles said what is seen lasts short, we quickly forgot and built us an economic fort. Then defended our safety with policies of hatred, acts to solve a problem that wasn't one, a problem we'd invented and our selfishness had done. I don't blame a single church or denomination for the horrors that happened in this nation, but I blame a single greedy definition of what is beautiful, a narrowing vision. It wasn't the evil of one party or side, but a craving for conquering and thus to divide. Now, if you're like me, you might have felt frustrated when you see this topic in the news. Yes, there is hurt that's been caused, but that was back then. And those are not my views. I never pushed someone from their lands. Why should there be guilt on my hands? But I do have a beautiful home and the freedom to write poems. All things that were stolen in the country I call my own. In Calgary it was taken from Blackfoot, Siksika, and other Treaty 7 nations. So since I'm part of this broken promise, I will honor this as their land without reservations. If the church has a place in truth and reconciliation, then we have to abandon our colonial divination. If we have a master who truly guides us into compassion, we need to feel with those in pain and support them by action. Action to eliminate education and employment caps. Action to repudiate doctrines of discovery and other legal traps. Action to encourage cultural and language education for Indigenous youth. An action to critique the history we teach as a whitewashed version of the truth. These are just a few of the steps listed by the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And words have already gone too long. They have just painted a vision. If there is a spark of life in this faith that we claim, then make it real, make compassion revealed, or call it something else, and don't use Jesus' name.